Hello and welcome to Premier League Predictions. My name's Matthew Christ and alongside me is Brian McClair, and this is our very own festive Christmas Boxing Day edition of Premier League Predictions. Myself and Brian have just put the mince pies and the turkey sandwiches to one side to look ahead to these thrilling games that are coming up before us. Brian, are you full of festive spirit?
Of course, I'm full of festive spirit and every day, because every day is Christmas Day to me, Matthew.
Well, I didn't expect anything else from you, Brian. So let's get straight on with these games. The 12:30 game is Manchester City versus Everton.
In 1940, legend Tommy Lawton played for Everton on Christmas Day morning and for Tranmere in the afternoon. The Tranmere people had come into the dressing room at Goodison and asked if anybody wants to play, as they were 2 men short. This was on Christmas Day, 1925, Manchester City lost 6-5 to Bury, and then they lost a reverse fixture 2-0 at Main Road on Boxing Day. City 3, Everton 0.
Okay, the Evertonians will be happy to hear that. You certainly cheered them up at Christmas. You said they were 2 players short. I hope they got the second player, or did they play with 10 men? I
didn't find out. I think they did get another one, yeah, but clearly it wasn't a legend like Tommy Lawton was. So
okay, I don't want to burst your bubble. You did well with that bit of knowledge.
That's my opening one. Yeah, I've got a few other rascals here.
Well, let's crack on then. 3 o'clock games. Bournemouth Palace first up.
Bournemouth beat Clapton Orient on Christmas Day in 1931. The Clapton players had been given a barrel of beer from their manager, and one of their players, I think the captain, actually collapsed on the pitch during the game. However, they lost the game. So Bournemouth beat Clapton, but the players sobered up enough, and they actually won the next day against Bournemouth, 1-0. I'm going to go for Bournemouth 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Okay, you've been impressed with what you've seen from Bournemouth so far this season. I think they surprised everybody, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been exceptional. Well, yeah. Yes, very good.
And it's up next. It's title chasing Chelsea. Say that after a couple of Christmas lemonades against near West London rivals Fulham.
Yes, on Christmas Day 1937, Chelsea had a game abandoned due to fault. However, the opposition goalkeeper didn't realise this. He just thought that the play was further away from his goals and couldn't see. And it was a further 15 minutes before he was discovered on the pitch by a local police officer. And on the 26th of December 1963, Fulham beat Ipswich 10-1. Jackie Milburn was the Ipswich manager that day. Fulham's goal scorers included Alan Mullery and Bobby Robson, and a hat-trick from Bobby Howfield, who, as you know, later became a kicker in the NFL with the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos.
I did not yet.
There you go. Chelsea 3, Fulham 1.
Okay. Next up, it's home favourites Newcastle against Aston Villa.
Villa played in the first ever Christmas Day fixture in 1889. However, they ended up losing to the best team in England at that time, who were, can you imagine, Preston North End. Villa losing 3-2. I think they'll lose this game also. It's St James's Park. For Newcastle 2, Villa 1.
Okay, Newcastle's home form to continue, according to you. Next up, Nottingham Forest against Tottenham Hotspur.
Ex-Tottenham coach Jose Mourinho's dad, incredibly, was sacked as a manager by his club during Christmas lunch in the early 1970s. And on Boxing Day 1962, Brian Clough's playing career came to an end after a bad injury. Forest 1, Spurs 1.
Okay, and the last of the 3 o'clock games is struggling Southampton versus not as bad West Ham, who are showing signs of a bit of fight.
Yeah, West Ham have had a bit of a run. Garnered a few points to keep them a little bit away from the relegation zone. And the 27th of December 1988 was the first live Christmas TV fixture, which included West Ham, who were away at Norwich that day. And West Ham lost the fixture 2-1. I'm going to go for the same scoreline, but I'm going to go for Southampton to win 2-1.
Okay, bit of festive cheer for Saints fans there, which has been hard to come by in recent weeks. And we've got the TV game, the 5:30 kickoff, and it's Wolves against your old club, Manchester United.
Well, in 1957 was the last full Christmas Day fixture list. United played Luton at Old Trafford, and then the following day on Boxing Day, so they played at home on Christmas Day. On Boxing Day, they played Luton at Kenilworth Road, had 1 day rest, and then played in the Manchester Derby at Main Road. So I can't see how players complain about being fatigued and having too many games when you look at that fixture conundrum. Wolves 0, United 2.
Okay. I mean, your career was just after that. Well, several years after the Christmas Day games. Was that something you would have enjoyed partaking in, playing on a Christmas Day and then Boxing Day?
Probably not. You know, I like the idea of it now, though. I'd be interested in going to a game on Christmas Day now, but not as a supporter, not playing. I mean, and if you look through, as I've looked through several of these events over as I say, from early days through to 57, when it was the last full fixture list, although there was some games played on Christmas Day the following year. The number of players, I think Jimmy Greaves is one of them, actually saying that, it's not good discipline on Christmas Day when you should really, when everybody else is, well, not everybody else, because people were going to the game, but it was a different scenario then. There wasn't so much entertainment available for people. So, no, I wouldn't have enjoyed playing, but yeah, I would enjoy going.
Yeah, I would love the Christmas Day fixtures. I mean, it happens in the NFL and in NBA, and
particularly in the morning. Yeah, I'd like.
I'm all for a United Liverpool Christmas morning, 11:30 kickoff. I think there'd be millions tuning in. So let's start campaigning for it now. But we've got some Christmas pies and mince pies and turkey sandwiches to catch up with. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after those. Welcome back to the second half of this edition of Premier League Predictions with myself, Matthew Christ, and Brian McClair. We've put aside our Christmas snacks and drinks, and we're going to talk you through the second load of fixtures for Boxing Day, starting at 8 p.m. With Liverpool at home to Leicester.
Leicester are one of 3 clubs who have escaped relegation after being bottom at Christmas. I'll leave people to find out themselves the other 2 clubs. Gary McAllister, who I played with both at Motherwell and for Scotland, who played for both Liverpool and Leicester, was born on Christmas Day in 1964. And I think it's going to be for one of his later clubs that there'll be a victory. Liverpool 4, Leicester 0.
And what a result that would be, should it come through. Of course, some of these games are spread over 2 days, so we're going to go into the Friday fixtures with the 27th. Some of these players will have had the chance to maybe have a few mince pies and turkey sandwiches with the extra day's rest. And so we've got a 7:30 game on the 27th, which is Brighton versus Brentford.
Chris Kamara played 152 games for Brentford, and he was also born on Christmas Day, although he's a few years older than Gary. He was born in 1957. On Christmas Day in 1940, Brighton arrived at Norwich with 5 players. They asked for volunteers from the crowd, which they did get, and played some very young players also. And it went on to lose the game 18-0.
I guess you're not predicting a repeat of that scoreline today.
Brighton won. Brentford won.
Okay, it's sitting on the fence there. And the final game in this batch of Boxing Day fixtures is 8:15. It's Arsenal against Ipswich.
Well, Arsenal were banned from playing games on Christmas Day on religious grounds because Highbury was built on land that was owned by the church. And when Arsenal eventually scraped up the money to make an offer to the church for the land, the deeds had to be signed by the Archbishop of Canterbury. and that allowed Arsenal then to play fixtures on Christmas Day, which they duly did. Arsenal 3, Ipswich 0.
Okay. Arsenal continuing their pressure on the leaders at Liverpool, it would seem. Well, that brings us to the end of this festive edition, this Boxing Day edition of Premier League Predictions. Myself and Brian are going to get back to the party, but we've only got a few days to enjoy ourselves because we'll be right back with the next episode in just a few days, and we'll see you then.